According to a study by the University of Kentucky, suicide is the 10th leading cause of death in the country. As Evening Edition's Jacqueline Nye reports, calls to the suicide crisis line are up since the pandemic began in March.
Each year, 800 Kentuckians die by suicide. A University of Kentucky professor and director of Suicide Prevention and Exposure Lab says she found 3 patterns that lead to suicide. 2 of them being the person feels that they don't belong and feeling like a burden on others.
And then the third is referred to as acquired capacity. Somehow they've gotten past our innate ability to keep ourselves alive, either through the work that they do or through previous suicide attempts.
The psychologist says calls to the crisis line have increased since March, but will take about a year to determine if the suicide rate increased. While we can't predict who is the most at risk, some factors on mental health include economic difficulties, social isolation, and uncertainty of the future.
Fortunately, the hospitality industry, restaurants and bars and hotels, that industry really has people that have less access to mental health care. Sometimes they don't have good insurance. Sometimes they work hours where they're not going to be able to see a therapist or psychiatrist. And they also are an environment where there's lots of alcohol.
If you or someone you know is dealing with suicidal thoughts, call the National Crisis Hotline at 1-800-273-8255. In Lexington, Jacqueline Nye, Evening Edition.